10, 9, 8.
You're watching
7,
Experience Comic Culture and
6,
Sales.
5,
Streaming live daily to
4,
Facebook, YouTube,
3,
Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's time for Minute to Skim It. I see Triple B's already in the house.
Yes.
We're excited for the cool books this week. We finally got to the third of the new release X titles, which I can never remember what it's called, except for now I know it's exceptional. I swear, everybody that comes in, I'm like going, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, and then that third one.
Yes. X-Men Rise of the Fall of the House of the Rising Sun.
Of the fall of the rise. Loving it. Oh, let's get to it. I just unplugged my own computer. All right.
We're starting with
cover,
me. Yes.
I can tell right away that's a Bare Ends cover.
That's so good. That's so good. So I think I actually might have missed an issue of this because we're back in 1300 and we actually stay in 1300 for the entire issue. I guess all the timelines have converged into that one point. But it's a big war with the armies of darkness. You got the mini Ashes, Evil Ash, the Wise Man, Ash, Nikto. I'm totally blanking on his love interest from Army of Darkness name right now, but she's in it too. Just the whole crew. And the battle ends with a chainsaw versus a zoomstick battle. And I'm going to let you guess which one wins that. There's a big surprise at the end of this issue. And once again, 11 issues deep, and I'm still digging this book. I really hope when this series is finished, this and some of the other Army of Darkness books, like Rodney Barnes's Army of Darkness 1979, I would love if they got collected into like textured Necronomicon compendiums. That'd be amazing. Here's what I'll tell everybody about this series. For one, I think it's one of the best. There are very, very good ones, trust me, when it comes to Army of Darkness. But if you even tolerate the Army of Darkness or Evil Dead, if you even tolerate them, really, you should be reading this series. Tony Flicks just kills it with this one. So go and check this one out, folks.
Hey, Eddie and Canadian and Justin who just joined us. Welcome in. Okay, so, I've been kind of semi-obsessed with this whole, like, Selena and Bruce love match thing that got broken up way back in issue number 50 when they promised us that we were getting a wedding and then they double-crossed us and we didn't get Jack. And I think it was because they were hurrying Tom King along and he was like, fine. But this one's kind of a cool, promising book. And so it's literally them kind of getting stuck in this, trying to fight the big Amanda Waller, going to take over everything. They've been sent after trying to capture one of the mother boxes and try to protect it from Darkseid, who's also going after it. But it's kind of cool because within this storyline that they're telling, you still have them talking to each other about, like, will we make it out of this alive? I'm not sure. Will we ever get our ending? So I love this because if we get to go back and touch on that idea of, are they fated to be together? Are they fated to never be together? So it's, and plus it's still just like awesome and fits into the absolute power storyline. I highly recommend you guys jump in somewhere to Absolute Power, because soon all this is going to get tied in all in, and then it's going to be tied into the Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute all the rest of those titles, and you better daggum have those on your pull list, because I already have people asking after them who I don't think even know anything about comic books, but I think because of the starkness of the Batman logo that's associated with the Absolute Batman, I think everyone has got their interest piqued, which they should. I'm excited how this is all going to wrap up and how it's going to roll into those things. I am very happy that DC is slow rolling through this series so that we can hope to keep going and not have it break the bank. Thank you very much. You doing an Emily in Paris thing?
Ross and Rachel from Friends.
Oh, sorry, I was confused.
Lillian Marshall. Kanto.
Oh, baby.
So the battle rages on. They've broken through the gates. And once again, David Booher just shatters my heart with this one. Man, there aren't too many books that take me on just a roller coaster of emotions quite like Kanto. Kanto's story pulls you in, and you feel like the exhilarating highs, but you also feel those crushing lows. This is a beautiful story that could easily be a bedtime story for children, if I'm being honest. Like, I would love to see this done Princess Bride style on the big screen. You know, have Fred Savage come back and he's reading it to his kid or his nephew or something. David and team have just made a book that this can be enjoyed by anyone and everyone, and it should be. I talk about Kanto every time I read Kanto. I say the same thing over and over again. I know people are probably tired of hearing it, but this is a book that will be in favorite story conversations, or at least in mine, for years to come. I hope that, once again, David never gets tired of writing Kanto. Because if he never gets tired of writing Kanto, I'm never going to get tired of reading Kanto. Super vague on this one, but it's just I want people to really go out there and read this series. Pick up any volume, whatever you want, but read Kanto. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Excellent series. Excellent.
Castle is here. Here it is, the Exceptional X-Men, which I will try really hard not to forget the exceptional part. Have you been around in comic books as long as I have, when there's been the, every adjective possible X-Men? It is hard sometimes to be like, what was this new one? But it's not going to be hard to remember the actual book, because it actually is exceptionally good. They chose, in the 3 people that they have doing these X titles, the right people to have us care about the characters still after the effects of leaving Krakoa. This one focuses in on Kitty Pryde. She's trying real hard to forget all about being a mutant. She's still proud to be one, but she just knows that right now is not the time to be doing anything about that. She works as a bartender. She has a roommate. She has maybe a successful dating life, but can't remember what day she's got a plan for her date. she realizes, that her date was actually on the wrong day. She ends up at a concert that is not the concert she's supposed to be going to, because she's a day off in her brain, and meets a very interesting young lady who is a mutant themselves, but they haven't ever been part of a group. They don't know how to be a mutant. They don't know what it means to be a mutant. And so this is kind of like one of those stories where it's the very beginning of you just see Kitty try to make friends with someone who's just trying to find their way in the world, in a world that's been very, not happy about mutants because they were, not too long ago saying they were gods, and that never really goes over very well. The other two characters there you see at the top, you don't see in this book, or if you do, they have not been revealed to be mutant kind. They may be background characters or something, and I might have missed them, but you definitely see Emma. Emma is always trouble. She shows up at the end of the book. I will not tell you in what way, but she's never ever good things.
Speaking of exceptional, this continues to be one of the most original, story-filled with not legally the cartoons you grew up on stories that I've ever read. There's a few reveals in this one, a few erasures, because that's how apparently that's the only way you can kill cartoons in this universe. But you find out that a tune can be erased, but there's a way that they can come back. And it's that's what I'm gathering from something Pecos Pete says. He says something to our baddie in this one, and I'm like, I'm guessing erasure isn't the end all be all of tunes. Could be way off, could be wrong. That's just what I got from it. We also see Oliver in this issue finally believe that he's special. It's one of those things like your mom telling you, "Oh, you're so handsome." And you're like, well, it's my mom. Of course she's going to say that. It's when other people that you don't expect to tell you things like that, that's when it kind of sticks in your brain. And that's what happens to Oliver in this issue. He gets told by somebody else that he is special, and he starts to believe it. And what he does is he basically uses his power to tell our villain, if you want me, come get me. And he gets away. Man, just such an awesome series. Tony Fleeks and the team, bless you. Tony Fleeks and the team, they definitely deserve an award for this one. Yeah. I hope some studio sees this book and they're like, you know what? I want to make a series. I want to make a movie. I want to make a cartoon. I want to make a video game. I want to make all the things because, I would buy all the things that come with this book. Bless you. This, y'all, this is one of those books that I would definitely, this would be on my list of things, be like, this is just starting out. Hop on it now. Hop on it now before, I don't know how far Tony and team are planning to take this, but hop on it now before these books get ridiculously expensive. Like, this feels like it's going to be one of those things where later on you're going to be like, man, I should have picked this up the first time around. Honestly, one of the best books I read this week. So check this out. Go to your LCS. Go wherever you get your comics. Please check this out. Again, you won't be disappointed. Excellent book.
Right, Eddie. He's going to need a kidney, right? Lady Mechanica. This one is, all the time. Joe Benitez has been doing this really awesome series. He's always done a really slow roll. So you've always had to be a very patient fan of these books. He usually does little short series. This one's called The Devil on the Lake. All you need to know about Lady Mechanica is it's kind of self-explanatory, her name. She does have like a mechanical parts to her. Her arms are, I wouldn't call them robotic. Think steampunk. Think some more steampunk. And because of her arms, this is the way she explains it, she has red eyes. So she usually hides them behind red sunglasses or what passes for sunglasses in an era. It feels like a very period piece, by the way. So this one follows her. She has a meeting with a princess who has sent out a team. I think it's a brother and sister team or husband and sister team to go try to figure out what is in this lake. So she's, I think, a Russian princess. So while they are doing this, they disappear. They lose contact with them. And the woman that's part of this research expedition just happens to be the princess's really good friend. So she hires Lady Mechanica to go and try to figure out what's going on in this book. So it's really beautiful. Every page is just so stunning. Like all the scenes where you see the princess in her castle, she's just got everything. Like, this is me as a cosplayer talking. Everything about every page makes me want to make all those costumes because they are so beautiful. And she's a terrific character. She's got conflict. You actually get to see a conflict with a past character that she was with in a different issue, who is no longer talking to her. And I'm hoping that he just magically shows up toward the end of this book, but he realizes she did apologize. So this one is a good thing to jump into. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to have had any of the other series of this. I highly recommend it. It's really beautiful.
Was this always an Image book?
No, he moved. He used to be self-published. He moved over.
Started at Aspen.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have every Lady Mechanica ever printed and every cover ever printed, and several incredibly rare signed Joe Benitez posters and lithographs and things that I've stolen from Chris Rupp's warehouse where he has a bunch of the Aspen stuff. No, that is not what's out in one of the other rooms of this office. No, don't tell anyone.
Jenna collects it too. That's why I was asking.
Ooh.
You know, just when I think I've seen it all in a comic book, this book goes, oh, here's some super detailed naked vampires for you. This series, the first issue I read of this particular series, The Devil's Crucible, you know, I saw the violence was going to be there, but the following issues, I was like, oh, okay, so, you know, nudity and violence is a big part of this book. It doesn't shy away from that in the slightest. And that violence isn't just reserved, I learned in this issue, the violence isn't just reserved for adults, for adult characters in this book. There is a way these people get into this village, and the payment is extreme. This story was also lightning fast. Like before I could even get my bearings from the naked vampires, it was over. It was a really fast read, really good, solid book. I heard a rumor, and I can't remember if it was here because I can never remember anything, but there was a series for Netflix this was made into, and I heard it didn't make it to Netflix, so it's being shopped around. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I heard it here, but I can't remember.
It got canceled. But anytime you say I heard a rumor, people are going to cover their ears if they're fans of the Umbrella Academy.
Oh, wow, slow on the uptake for me, but I got you now. You know, this series is doing its job though, because it makes me, every time I read it, I'm like, you know what? I need to hyper focus and learn everything there is to learn about this character. This is something that I've heard of, but I've never until now have actually sat down and read any of it. But every time I do, I'm like, man, this is such an interesting character. It's like if Garth Ennis wrote Spawn, it almost feels like. But again, definitely, it's an awesome series so far. If you've never read any of it, I feel like you can jump in right here. But I would suggest, like myself, I need to go and get some earlier stuff. But I'm really digging this. I'm happy to see it every time it's up in the list. So I'm going to review it probably every time we get an issue of it. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Hey, Garf. Okay, I'm not 100% certain if they're intending this as an origin story for how the zombies began, because this feels like not the kind of zombies I remember seeing in the Marvel Zombies series. This one has Groot show up. He and Rocket have gotten into some trouble. They were trying to steal something, some mechanical something, of course, because Rocket wanted it. And the Avengers show up to get them out of prison, because anytime the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy are together in the same space, they're all considered Avengers. So on a technicality, to get out of jail because of proximity. But Groot has a cold of some sort. That, according to Rocket, he got from allowing a Flurkin to lick him on the face that had sneezy face. And it looks like anybody that he sneezes on becomes kind of this weird plant-like zombie that will bite everybody else it can. Groot has Dutch elm disease. I think that might be it. I love it. This is kind of a fun start. This is a for a series instead of just a single shot. I don't think so, but I hear it can't be petrified. Oh, you guys are the best. I don't think that's how it works either, but he doesn't get sick. See, he's just got the sniffles. Everyone else becomes a little tree zombie. It's very, I hope they explain it at some point, but it's a lot of fun.
For anyone who's currently following the drama in the D&D 5e community, Groot turning everyone else into tree zombies is why they're currently nerfing druids.
Oh.
All right. This is another one where it feels like I might have missed an issue or two. But it looks like the trio of friends here have gotten into an argument. So they're not talking to each other. But two of the friends already have forgiven each other. So Reeves, our main person, is hanging out, not willingly, with her parents. While, like I said, her other friends have forgiven each other. So they're still hanging out with each other too. Allie the demon is with Reeve, and Reeve goes to the mall with her mom. They're shopping for clothes. Her mom's looking at dresses and stuff, so Reeve kind of yeets herself out of there. And she meets up with her ex-friend that we met 2 or 3 issues ago, and it feels like they're kind of making amends. Could be one of those situations where, these friends aren't talking to me, so I'm going to go back and talk to this friend. So this issue feels more Dawson's Creek than Demons, which is fine because I liked Dawson's Creek back in the day anyway. It was still a fun story, and my takeaway is there are times in your life that you're gonna hurt the people that you love, and they're gonna hurt you. It happens, whether it's anybody's fault or just an accident, what have you. But remember, a wise man once said, I think it's about forgiveness. Forgiveness. Even if you don't love me anymore. Mm-hmm. Richard Marx. Just kidding. It's Don Henley, Heart of the Matter, before Kyle jumps on here and gets me for it.
Oh, no.
Don't disrespect Don Henley.
I knew that was going to get some kind of reaction.
You knew that Kyle was going to catch it.
Yeah. So it's one of those situations where it feels like it's swallow your pride. Say you're sorry. This one's going to get a hashtag not that bad. It was a good story, and the message was a good message. Wasn't being preachy, but you could feel the message of, forgiveness is key to the ones that you love. I just think it needed more demons. It's a world with demons. I think it needed more demons.
She got
I
canceled.
I did it on purpose, y'all. I knew somebody was gonna say something.
You would have got me. I'm so dumb. I can't remember who did what. All right. Plastic Man, no more. Oh, no. I will tell you 100%. I did not realize that all the rest of the superheroes that Plastic Man works with give him no respect whatsoever. They barely pay attention to him. They talk over him all the time. They barely notice that something horrible happened to him in this book. Like, man, I feel so bad for him. Has this always gone on? How in the world does this guy even stick around? Anyway, he is kind of a goob, and I like him. I feel him so much. Something happens to him. He gets exposed to some kind of, I can't remember, it was a ray or a weapon or something, and it starts to deplasticize him. And this entire book is a little bit about him kind of coming to terms with the fact that no one really cares except for, him. And maybe if he connects with someone, like a long lost son, because he's now worried that maybe it might be happening to him too, or will happen to him in the future. So now he wants to find a solution, if not for himself, for his son. So it's super heartbreaking, this whole thing. And I'm real sad for him. I hope no one's a Plastic Man in their group. And if you have a Plastic Man in your group, give him some respect, man.
Plastic Man is one of those underrated characters to me, like the Spectre and Dead Man, that I hope somebody does something with them. Okay. This particular team's Red Sonja is my favorite. It just is. I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe the combination of the art and the story. I don't know. There have been ones that I have liked. This one is my favorite. I love this one. It's got killer art. The story is awesome. This shows Sonja running her sword through someone, but then we backtrack. It basically says, we'll show you why this happens later.
Oh.
So, man, there's just some awesome fights. It's Sonja how you know her. There's not a ton I can tell you about this one that I haven't said about every issue of this particular one. If you're a fan of Red Sonja and you want to get other folks to like Red Sonja, this is the series. This team series right here. This is the one that I would tell you to show people to, because this is the one that got me. I mean, outside of the movie with Bridget Nielsen, I didn't know Red Sonja was a character. I thought it was just a movie that they took and made into a comic. So I didn't know anything about Sonja. But this book shows me why so many people love Red Sonja. This book in particular. So if you're a Red Sonja fan, don't skip this. And Red Sonja fans out there, after you read this, please come back and let me know, because I really want to hear fans' thoughts. Fans that have been reading this stuff way longer than I have. I want to hear your thoughts, and I want to hear what you think about this series in particular. For me, one of the best Red Sonjas out there.
Oh, this is such a sweet book, y'all. Okay, I didn't finish this. I would no lie, because it was so long, and I was like, not wanting to give up reading one of my other books I had set aside for the review show today. But this is Tom King, so that is a big thing to pay attention to, because he is an amazing writer. And this takes the super kids, so the daughter of Diana, who calls herself Wonder Girl later on, and then Damien, who it's the whole time Superman's son calls him Dame, which is kind of like, what? Okay. So it starts out with I wish I could remember her name. I can't remember her name. Just such a sweet little name. Diana's daughter is young enough that needs to be babysat. And the whole first section of the book is about, Damien trying to put her down to sleep and failing. He thinks he's got it. And I'll give you a little snippet of how funny it is. It's like, she wants him to tell her stories to get her to go to bed, but he tells a story about Darkseid using the math to defeat the good guys, but then it doesn't work, right? But now she's so focused on, is Darkseid in the closet? Is there math in the closet? What does math look like? Lizzie, that's it. Thank you. It's such a cute name. So that is just so cute. And then it jumps forward until she's a little bit older, and they're supposed to be watching her, and she sneaks off. I'm trying to remember if it's a dimensionality problem. She starts doing things that the two guys are standing around and talking about, like, if she changes anything, if this might actually change things about us, and that would be really bad. And what's so funny is that the entire sequence, every single panel, they look and sound different. So they're robots in some of them, they're chicken people in other ones. It's like, it's clear that whatever she's doing, which is, she got sent back in time by Damien to go learn about samurai. So she actually helped the samurai conquer somebody. So anyway, these are the kind of rides you're down for. This is not something you're going to read if you want like something super serious and has implications for all the future, whatever. If you just want to read a one of, which this is a one shot that just makes you happy, this is so worth the money. Because I read for maybe half an hour and I had to call it because I was like, okay, I still want to read the rest of this book, but I cannot right now. Oh, pretty.
The Sweetie covers, oh my goodness, are just top notch.
Mm-hmm.
What a crazy book this is. It's There's magic candy that kills you if you're a bad person, a candy eating werewolf, a sentient Christmas tree. Just that's just a small part of Sweetie's entourage. I'm going to sound a little deranged here, but I was kind of let down. There wasn't any gruesome kills in this one. There's no death really. Still a good story though. Don't get me wrong. Doesn't always have to have killing in it, but this one is definitely more story, no gory. But Sweetie's a character that could easily be a villain. Like, she is literally one bad day away from being one of the most vicious villains in comics. But she's not. She stays sweet and just menacing enough. Super sweet to people, but you can see that glint in her eyes. If you cross her, you're gonna have a bad time. Like I said, this is a fun book, and I would honestly, since he's here in the chat, would suggest checking out Triple B's channel, because he goes very in depth with this character and some of the series that she's been in. Highly recommend watching those. That way you get, kind of a better review. He really knows what he's talking about. He loves this character. But this is one of those, I would tell you, if you're digging this series, keep getting it, because it's really good. Granted, like I said, there's no killing in this one really, but there's a lot of good exposition in it. So it does drive the story forward. So, like I said, if you've been into this one or even haven't checked it out, you really should. It's a fun time. It's fun.
Hey, make two's on. Okay, so I will tell you, I don't think I got to read any of the 1, 2, or 3 for the Ultimates. I think it was just like it was somehow like the reviews weeks didn't match up with me or something. So this is me telling you can jump into the Ultimates at 4, and if you're reading the Ultimates line, you'll be fine. This one is super awesome because it gets really into the heart of the matter about the the maker and his fingers within this universe that's been made just kind of for him. But the problem is recently that Howard Stark found him out and like imprisoned him somewhere. I'm not 100% certain. He's going to be away for, I think it said 16 weeks, which sounds very specific. Didn't say why it was a very specific time. Maybe it's, or 16 months, maybe. Maybe it's for exactly, we need 16 issues to have him be away so we can push some important parts of this storyline forward. But this one is told, thank you, 16 months. This one's being told in a very interesting way. So every single page is 4 long, wide panels. And they take place in different time periods. So one is trying to explain, this one gets really deep into the Fantastic Four, by the way. So the top one is about them first kind of like, it really does start with Reed being a little kid going off to college, right? And getting part of the program that ends up being the flight that they take, that they're supposed to be, have the gamma radiation exposure. But we know that's not going to happen in this universe because this universe has been built so that none of them get their origin stories by Maker. So that's the top story. And then there's 2 in the middle that seem to touch each other a little bit. Both are very much Reed Richards, not the one you're thinking of, Doom. Because somehow we've ended up with a Reed Richards not from the universe that we're talking about as Doom in this that is not the Maker. And then the bottom one is what's going on. So this one is actually so good at actually doing that page after page after page where you're like, going, okay, I'm reading this line, this line, this line, this, have it all eventually end up in the storyline place that will make your head split. It's so good. This is, man. No, it's going to be chatty again. More chatting, but also storytelling. Not, it's not people talking to each other as much as moving forward the storyline so that you understand the Doom that we have, what his bent might be. And it's really sad because you find out what happens to some of the Fantastic Four members as a result of this timeline. Have a bunch of extra time, I think, for his early insult to Don Henley we should fill by making Jay sing Heart of the Matter. Does anyone have a guitar?
Even if you don't love me anymore. That's literally.
And that's the clip for next week's social media post.
I'll take it.
Pay $1. Castle's giving you $1.
Okay. I remember very vaguely reading this one in stores this week. Back when it was with Comixology.
Yeah, so guys, remember Jay did Raise Hell earlier. That's a Comixology original. This is what happens after those books come out from Comixology is they get republished by Dark Horse. And this is a great example of that.
Here's your $1.
Oh, I love you, brother. So, I also remember us all on the show really, really kind of digging this one. Here's the premise. It's the 50s, right? So back then, from what I've learned, remember I was born in the very early 80s. You were told in case of bombing or nuclear strike to get under your desk with your hands on your head, lacing your fingers, because apparently that will protect you
from melting.
Duck and cover, they called it. That obviously didn't happen. We didn't have a nuclear strike back then. But in this world, it does. To some kids that are in detention. Who dropped the bombs? Well, let's just say they're not of this earth.
Oh,
I'm not going to tell you if they're aliens or monsters or robots. You'll have to read that to figure it out. I actually never read past issue 1 because sometimes the comicsology stuff we didn't get one after the other, so I didn't read past number 1. But I remember a panel near the end of this that really it hooked me because it shows you just how violent these folks that came to take over are. And yeah, it stuck with me because I remember when I started reading this, I was like, wait a second, is this the one where? And when I got to the panel, I was like, yep, there it is. That was the reason I was like, okay, because it just shows you some brutality. Um, I would tell everybody out there, pick this one up. And again, just like with every other book here, I'd love to hear what the folks out there think of these books. Like this one, you might not have caught it last time because, like we said, it was a comicsology one. But now that it's Dark Horse, give it a shot. I think it's a very interesting take on the whole, Cold War, monster or aliens or what have you kind of story. So go to your
and Bill
LCS.
thinks he's got it. I think he knows what it is.
Oh,
You think it's alien monster robots?
yes.
I actually heard someone make mention of this today because they knew it was coming out. And they were wandering around the store and they were like, why are they making this book? And I was
Why
like,
not?
most people don't like fun. It's clear. So do we need a reason to make Donald Duck into Thor? No, we don't need that at all. Hey, Nick Brucci-san. Everyone give thumbs up and some hearts. He's a dude. All right, so this one actually has Donald taking the nephews out to do a little bit of archaeological expeditioning because they have a paper that's due about something that makes sense that they could go out and dig Viking things up. And they end up, they're digging and Donald wanders off and finds a cave. And in the cave, first he comes across aliens, which are big giant rock monster aliens who are determined to turn everything on the earth into rock because then it tastes like something yummy for them to eat. It gets crazy. Anyway, Donald ends up with a hammer at some point. There's no worthiness in this at all. It just, if he's holding it, he gets to be Thor, and if he's not holding it, he doesn't. And it's fun. Just fun. Yeah, we're going to keep on. I think that from what I understand, you guys remember when they made these, they released all of these What If Disney 100s. You guys remember all these things? I think that those weren't just, hey, here's a cover for something. I think this is where we're going. I think we're going to get to have a lot of this fun. I don't mind at all if they go through the entirety of the universe and reimagine it with Disney characters because it's just cute.
And I got to agree with JD Smith here. First a frog, now a duck. Thor can't catch a break.
It could be an alligator. Only image the tantrum Donald throws while trying to pronounce Mjolnir. Yeah. I don't even think he tried. Ooh.
I know it gets used and overused, and it's become an overused phrase since that certain movie, but let's go. Let's go with, Valiant. So Archer and Armstrong are still running for their lives in the crypt of the National Cathedral. They make it to a room with artifacts. They're looking for this bullet to complete this like ritual. They need this specific bullet. The sisters are pursuing them, and Archer challenges the possessed Mary Maria to a duel. Now, that's all I'm giving you story-wise, aside from spoilers out of context. Okay?
Okay.
A backstabbing, another adopted sibling,
What?
a protest, a kiss, and let's just say a far away place. Look, here's what I'm gonna tell everybody. You know, I'm hoping with all the hope that I can muster, Valiant not only sticks to landing with this, which I believe they will, but I hope they push through if something doesn't exactly work out. I have described Valiant to some folks as the toxic girlfriend. I know in the end they're gonna hurt me, but I keep coming back to them hoping that this time it's different. Prove me right, Valiant. I've been a fan of yours for many, many years. I know you can do it. And the books that are coming out for this road to resurgence, they're showing me that they can. If there's anybody out there that has just been Valiant's always rebooting, they're always being sold off, I'm asking you, as hard as it may be, give this a shot. I think they're going to do it this time. In my opinion, they're going to do it this time. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait for all the other series that Mr. Van Lente said were coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a shot, folks. I'm telling you, it's going to be great.
Did we finish?
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, I'm going to do show and tell for the graphic novels because I think there's some fun stuff. If your local comic shop carries little golden books, you might be able to find yourself a Zendaya. You can make funny. Little paper doll outfits for her that look like she's in Dune if you want, if you don't like her in dresses. Or you can have her flying from a trapeze and being married to Zac Efron. Yeah. No, that's just me? Oh, okay.
Can you have her recreate the scenes from Spider-Man where she's clearly taller than Tom Holland and so has to bend over like halfway to make him look taller than her?
Okay, so this is my statement on that. I have a great many friends who the wife is clearly much taller than the husband, and they are very happy. So I don't think it matters. Love is love.
Oh, no, I'm just saying it's awkward when you can see it in Spider-Man.
Well, maybe. That's true. Little Timmy's first crush. What's the furthest place from here? This series continues to be awesome. From the team that brought you Four Kids Walk Into a Bank, which, by the way, they just announced part of the principal actors for Liam Neeson is in that film that is being made right now. Go out and try to find yourself some copies of Four Kids Walk Into a Bank. I double dog dare you. Void Rivals Volume 2, which you know that is hot as I'll get out. Issue number 12, which is in this book, is supposed to have the appearance of a brand new character because 12 also appears today, I think, that book. This is a complete book, Saucer Country. It's an Image. Is this a G book? That one looks really cool. You got Elseworlds Superman you can get. This is the one I was really looking forward to. You can finally read as a graphic novel, Feral. And you can pick up Spider-Punk Arms Race. And there is a new Black Label book, Batman City of Madness.
Ooh.
You know you like this form. So many people give sass to that form of book, but I like having the extra space on a page for art. Those are the big books that I saw. So, I guess we're just going to wrap it up early today. Thank you guys so much for Castle that is making the extra special review shorts for us. They're receiving a lot of attention. So if any of you guys also want to do them, you've been watching Castle stuff and you're like, hey, I've got some favorite books that are coming out that I would like to make sure people know about. Please just let us know. We'd love to have you be part of what we're putting together here, which is just really a giant love letter to comic books. Yes, Kyle.
If you want to do that, please reach out through our website and not directly to me, Jay, or to JD. Thank you.
You should call them at their house.
Yeah, don't do that or I'm never going to do the thing.
Send them telegraphs. Make sure you go to your local comic shop. You can use your zip code for wherever you're going to be. If you're going to be traveling this week, you can try out some new comic book stores. If your comic book store is out of something, it's really okay to go wander to another local comic shop and see if they have it. Just throw a couple bucks at them too. That's the way I usually see it. Everyone has their home LCS where they have their pull boxes and then they go and visit the other ones in the area. It's totally cool. You're not cheating. Yeah. I don't feel like that when people come in from other shops. I don't feel like they're cheating with me. Whatever you can do to support comics. And my challenge to you this week is to find a creator on social media, whatever social media you like to use, that you read their book this week, and just send them a message saying that you like it. It can just be you can do it something easy and just say, this book was dope. They like to hear feedback. They don't get A++ or stars or whatever like they used to get on their kindergarten papers. This is the way they know that you like it. Stay punished, everyone. I like that.
Yeah, if you don't have a local comic shop near you, you can always make the experience your LCS. We got many great people on here, but also if you're traveling, don't forget to check out comicshoplocator.com. That's comicshoplocator.com. Kyle does this a lot better than I do, but you go to comicshoplocator.com, you enter your zip code, not the area code, but the zip code of the place that you're going to, and find local comic shops in that area. Make sure you call them. The Google is not always correct with the hours. So, and I'm guessing we're gonna get out of here earlier. I want to thank each and every single one of you that shows up every week for us. We love doing this. We love having you here. We got Mint Hunter next. Then after him at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, gonna have Kicking It with Henri. Gonna be an awesome day. Hope to see y'all at the other shows. And Miss Jen, I'll see you next time.
All right, sounds great. Bye,
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.